Commit your works to the Lord and your plans will succeed. Proverbs chapter 16 and verse 3. In our last video, we talked about business and the need for business. And I'm hopeful that you were convinced by my lessons and my scriptures and everything that you need to be involved in business. So someone might be sitting there and asking, what is business? What kind of business can I do? I don't know where to start on business. Well, this lesson is specifically for you. I want to talk to you about the different types of business that you can get involved in. But first of all, a simple definition. Business is simply being involved in a transaction for the pure purposes of making profit. This is not you buying something because it looks nice. You're not buying something because it makes you feel good. You are not engaged in the transaction because your friend forced you or anything like that, or because it's a necessity, i.e. you need to eat or whatever. This is you saying, I want to buy something, sell something, do something just because I want to make a profit. Now that something can be anything. Like I said in the last video, it can be tomatoes, it can be services, it can be physical goods, TVs, chairs, whatever, physical items. It can also be services. And so I'm going to go into the different types of businesses that you may want to think about starting. So number one, basic is of course buying and selling of simple items. Household items, physical items, things that you can see, things that you can touch. You can buy a pen for 50p and sell it for £1.50. You are in business. You are buying something for a lower price and selling it for a higher price, and the difference is a profit that you are making. And don't get me wrong, it's not just about physical small items. It can be big things. People buy and sell property, right, for the pure purposes of making profit. But the idea is that your business model is you buying and selling. Simple. You can also, in this grade or in this group of buying and selling, you can do it in different ways. You can have a physical shop, of course, on the high street. You can do it online. This is what we call e-commerce business. This is where you are selling your services, selling your products through a website or a marketplace. Think of things like Amazon, think of things like eBay. There are also other businesses or ways that you can sell things that are not physical things. You can sell services. So we move from physical products to invisible products. So you are selling your coaching, you are selling your teaching, you are selling your expertise, you are selling digital marketing or assistance to somebody. You can do this as well, or you can obtain customers similarly through an online marketplace or physically through people that you know, people that you are in that are in your circle. There's also something called drop shipping. This is where you are selling products online, but you are not necessarily physically holding or possessing that inventory. The idea is that you set up a shop, an online shop, just like eBay, Amazon, whatever. You sell or market a product, and then that product, when it is purchased by a customer, it is then sent to a fulfillment warehouse. And that fulfillment warehouse is actually where all those goods are stored, and they will produce the product or they will brand the product and they will sell it to the customer. So you don't even see the pen or the book or the glasses or whatever it is that you're selling. As an accountant, as you can imagine, I come across many different business owners. One of my customers is into this kind of business, and I can tell you they make a decent six-figure from just buying and selling of items, drop shipping, things that they don't even see. They just brand, put it on there, market it, people buy it, and they are able to make their profit. There's also another type of business called affiliate marketing. So this is not where you own a product or you own a service. You're not the one selling it to, selling your idea or your thing or your branded thing to somebody. What it is that somebody else has a product, somebody else has a service, and you are just simply advertising. Your business is basically telling people about their business. And when the business sells, you get a fee, you get a commission, you get a return, maybe based on the product or based on an agreed fee that you had already determined before you engaged in that. And that is a form of business. If you are doing that, you are in business. There's also print on demand. So this is where you are selling customized items. Think about leaflets, think about flyers, think about products with a stamp on it or whatever. And the idea is that once an order is placed, then the item is printed. Similarly to drop shipping, right? The item is printed and then it's sent to the customers. I'm literally rolling through different types of businesses just to get your juices flowing. Yeah. There are also professional services. I talked about selling services and coaching. The idea of you selling, your ability to help somebody in a specific area, for example, in finance, like bookkeeping, or in admin, like being a virtual assistant, or being a video editor, for example, or website design. These are professional services where there isn't a physical product, but your professionalism and your ability to do it creates a market and therefore creates a business for you. Now, many times when we think about business, we always think about, creating something new. We think about the Apples and we think about the Teslas of the world, for example, doing something so brand new that's never been done before. But actually, do you know you can take your existing services and just move them to a new market? I use myself as an example. I trained as an accountant. I studied finance my whole life, my whole university and post-university. And I have had jobs in finance. But I simply took this finance expertise and rather than just selling it to my employer who was paying me, I decided to take it online and sell it to individuals, customers like you maybe, who is watching right now. This is an example of you taking an existing service and moving it to a different audience and creating a business for yourself in that way. The other thing as well that I want you to know is that it's not just about doing something brand new. You can do an existing thing in a new way. So, for example, I mentioned Tesla briefly. Cars are not new. We all have cars. Cars have been around for a long time. But Tesla, Mr. Elon Musk, decided to do it in a different way. You can take a simple thing. It can be pen, it can be cooking, it can be food, it can be hair, it can be whatever, but you're doing it differently. There are also businesses as well whereby you are creating content and deciding to monetize. In this digital world that we live in, it's not always about physical products and physical services. It's also the online space and being able to create and generate money for yourself via online services or online content creation, ebooks and things like that. I know people who are paid to do videos. You want to simply gain a number of followers, and then you want to be able to sell different products to those followers, and people are being paid to do that. There are so many different business ideas. Literally, it is impossible for me to reel off all of them. The idea here was just to get your brain juices flowing. So if there's anything that you've been thinking about that might be in line with any of these, yes, these are valid business options that you want to engage in. Apart from selling services online, you might also have physical services that you sell. So for example, someone who is into event planning and styling and stuff like that, that kind of business is still a service-based business, but it's not just virtually, it's not just online, it's a physical service. So you have people who even do, for example, massages. They're selling a service and they will go to your home, for example. These are all different and valid forms of business that you can be engaged in and that you can hopefully scale to be able to talk about those millions and those billions that we mentioned in the other video. One thing I do want to say as we begin to round up is that there are other things to consider in business, not just the idea, not just what you like, not just what you're good at, but there are things such as licensing, especially when you think about businesses such as food businesses or financial businesses. Many industries are regulated. You can't just stand up and decide to open up a bank, for example. It's not impossible, but there are things that you need to think about: regulations, approvals. And so when you're thinking about your business, you want to make sure that you have those in the back of your mind. There are also things like insurance. If you're going to be providing services to individuals, if something was to go wrong, how would you be able to be covered, cover yourself, cover the person if anything goes wrong? In those businesses, you want to make sure that you consider licenses, insurances, all those kinds of fees. And last but not least, I want to talk about franchising. Franchising is another form of business that you might want to consider, especially when you think about regulated industries. Think about McDonald's, for example. For you to have all the licenses, the right to trade as McDonald's, it might take you time. But do you know that you can actually just go and buy the McDonald's name, and you can buy literally like a ready-made business? Of course, it's going to cost you money, so you need to think about your investment. But you can buy the name, you can buy Subway, you can buy KFC, and you can open up an already established business. And so when we talk about those licenses and those fees and those insurances, those things are already done for you. What is the point of this video? I want to basically summarize and say that there is no excuse. from small business to medium business to £1 million business to world-known businesses. These things are all available for you to access if you are willing to do the research, if you're willing to do the work. You can do these from your home, you can do them physically, you can do them, in your existing circle, you can find a new circle, you can do physical products, you can do invisible products, services, etc. The possibilities, like I said in the last business, are literally endless. So if you haven't started your business today, take one of these ideas and begin to run with them. This has been Business, Faith and Finance with Benedicta.